A mix of mythology and technology, Netflix's mind-bending horror series Archive 81 centers on two individuals from completely different timelines facing the outer world deity Kaelego, a god/demon that has existence in both mythology and xenoarchaeology. Keep watching this video for an explanation of the Melody of Kaelego's vessel theory. Let's begin. First up, fascinating Archive 81 theory suggests Melody becomes Kaelego's vessel in Season 1's end. Archive 81 follows Dan Turner, a New York-based archivist who is haunted by his past and gets hired by the suspicious president of the LMG company to restore a collection of burnt camcorder tapes. As Turner proceeds with the restoration process, he discovers that the tapes were originally recorded by a female documentary filmmaker named Melody Pendras. Pendras was recording the footage for her research project on the small community living in the Visser apartment in 1994. But when a fire broke out in the Visser apartment on March 26, 1994, 13 residents disappeared without a trace, including Melody. The mystery about the accident made Dan obsessed with Melody, and when the conservator found a connection between the woman and his father, curiosity made him establish an affinity to Melody's ethereal presence as she told Visser's story. However, Melody was not the only presence in the tapes, and Dan soon found himself haunted by the visage of the pan-dimensional Kaelego, threatening to break free from the tapes holding his essence. The show's Season 1 ends on a remarkable cliffhanger, where Dan is transported back to 1994 as Melody escapes Kaelego's other-world realm to re-enter the present time. But according to a popular Reddit theory, Melody escaping the otherworld may not be such a good thing. Fans speculate that the woman is now Kaelego's vessel, something supported by Samuel Spare, pushing Melody out of the portal at the opportune moment while relegating Dan to a different timeline. What happened to Melody in the otherworld? First released on January 14, 2022, the Netflix horror show Archive 81 was quick to become a runaway success for Netflix. The series became immensely popular in just its first month of streaming, being watched for 128.47 million hours globally, according to Netflix's own top 10 site. Archive 81's plot is based on a podcast of the same name by Daniel Powell and Mark Solinger, with the show's Season 1 consisting of 8 episodes, each approximately 55 minutes long. The show drew a highly critical reception due to its intriguing blend of horror and supernatural noir, and fans just can't wait for more. The horror show's last season ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. Episode 8, titled What Lies Beneath, saw Dan and Melody attempting to escape the otherworld, during which the two became separated. Melody, played by Dina Shahabi, was drawn to a whispering voice in an adjacent room, but as she entered, she heard the same chant used throughout the series as a precursor to summoning Kaelego through a grate in the room. The woman was then startled by a noise behind her and turned to see a mirror with her reflection in it. Only in the reflection, her likeness was replaced by Kaelego's hideous form. Terrified by the sight before her, Melody raced for the portal entrance alongside Dan, but as they neared, Samuel intervened, sending Melody back to the present day while forcing Dan into a different timeline via unexplained means. Why did this make fans believe Melody is now Kaelego's vessel? According to fans, Melody seeing Kaelego in the otherworld mirror portrays her as a reflection of the dimensional demon, implying, by extension, that she has now become his vessel. This theory also fits with former Visser resident Samuel Spare's actions towards Melody at the end of the James Wan series while she is still in the otherworld. Spare drags the woman back to the current plane of existence, while redirecting Dan to a different timeline. Fans have taken this to mean that Samuel knows Melody is possessed, believing Kaelego to be inside her. Another interesting fact in favor of this theory is that Dan does not see Kaelego in the same mirror scene Melody does, suggesting a kind of deeper connection between Melody and Kaelego, and highlighting her role as Kaelego's ticket to the mortal realm. Pendras, seeing Kaelego in a mirror, also implies that the demon is still trapped in some shape or form, unable to roam around freely in his otherworld domain. This further supports the theory that the demon's essence has been transferred from his realm into Melody, and although he is not yet free, he does have a ticket to the human world. How did Melody become the vessel? Back in 1924, Iris Voss performed a ritual, recording the presence of Kaelego in spirit photographs. The philosophy was adapted by a radical group of abstract artists who later joined the spirit receivers movement. Eleanor and her partner, Cassandra, were also a a part of this movement, moving to New York City in 1974 and settling down in Visser. In the past time, Mark told Dan that such tapes were considered cursed because people believed films could capture supernatural elements invisible to the human eye. Virgil Davenport also believed that the secret to raising Kaelego was hidden somewhere in Melody's tapes, which was why he wanted Dan's help to restore them. The role of the tapes was confirmed by Julia Bennett, who revealed that playing the footage thinned the veil between the worlds, unraveling the spell holding the door shut. As Dan was constantly watching the tapes, he was able to connect with Melody trapped in Kaelego's other world, creating a bridge between the two realms. And as a Baldung bloodline witch, Melody accidentally lent the spirit receivers the one element the crest circle, snuff film, and ritual was missing. With the cult stumbling onto the key to unlocking Kaelego's transference into a host, the spirit receiver's ritual of 1994 inadvertently worked due to Melody's presence, allowing Kaelego to possess her. This also explains why the Voss cult ritual of 1920 failed. Iris Voss and company were forced to improvise with Baldung blood and a stand-in sacrifice due to her brother killing their Baldung in Archive 81's episode 7, The Ferryman. Next, Melody being Kaelego's vessel makes Archive 81's ending scarier. Melody Pendras is established as a force for good throughout Archive 81. She attempts to discover the truth behind the nefarious dealings with the Visser and rediscovers her identity through her estranged mother. The series even doubles down on this sentiment, with Jess Lewis showing Melody sacrificing her friendships, safety, and existence to save an innocent girl's life. Seeing Melody's continuous efforts to help the Visser residents even in the face of a demonic cult, Archive 81's audiences eventually start to become enamored with this character. There's also the extremely satisfying and heart-touching reunion between Melody and her mother Bobby at the end of Archive 81 Season 1, further making fans fall in love with this character. But if Melody is really Kaelego's eventual vessel, all of this only really serves to make Archive 81's ending more horrifying. Archive 81 audiences are used to rooting for Melody, making this sudden revelation jarring. The Melody we are bound to see in Archive 81's Season 2 is likely to be much changed. Kaelego's presence inside her sure to have some mentally and physically debilitating effects. And while both Iris Voss and Samuel Spare believe Kaelego to be a revitalizing force for the Earth, Archive 81's narrative clearly displays the opposite. Kaelego's malevolent nature is seen in Dan's vision, in the LMG basement, along with the Karanite infesting areas Kaelego's presence touches. Melody's return to the present day marks her as a harbinger of destruction, a tragic end for such a wonderful character. Now let's dive into Archive 81 Season 2's expectations. The last episode of Archive 81's Season 1 suggested that Melody came out of the underworld into the present, while Dan ended up in a completely different timeline. The archivist was seen waking up in a hospital bed on April 8, 1994, around 10 days after the fire of Visser. A nurse hinted that he had been recovered from the site and was lucky to have survived the accident. Any doubts Dan had about the timeline he landed in are cleared when he sees the Twin Towers shadows upon looking out the window. The news shows MTV reporter Kurt Lodger reporting the death of Kurt Cobain, a man who died on April 5th, 1994, and whose body was discovered a couple of days later on April 8th. Further erasing doubt. Archive 81's Season 2 is most likely to focus on Dan's struggle to return to his original timeline and finally meet Melody. We're also likely to see what became of Samuel after he interfered in Melody and Dan's escape from the outer world, dragging Melody out. Another conflict mentioned throughout the series, and likely to be explored more thoroughly in the show's Season 2, is Baldung's Handbook. The book was used to liberate Kaelego and, according to Iris's words to her brother, is resistant to damage from things like burning. But now that Melody's mother, Julia Bennett, has become involved, she might know a way to destroy the cursed book. Season 2 is expected to follow this pursuit of destroying Baldung's Handbook to prevent it from being used ever again, marking the end of the cult and its rituals. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the Melody is Kaelego's vessel theory? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.